In this session, we will be going over the .NET Explorer for SilkPerformer. We will be covering how to create a new project, creating a new test case, adding methods to that test case, adding verifications, running the test case, and exporting the test case to SilkPerformer so that you can do load testing. Please note as a prerequisite that you will need the .NET Framework 2.0 or higher installed in order to run the .NET Explorer. You can launch the .NET Explorer either through the SilkPerformer workbench under the Tools menu with .NET Explorer, or through the Start menu from Start, All Programs, Silk, SilkPerformer 2009 R2, Development Tools, SilkPerformer .NET Explorer. Once the .NET Explorer has loaded, you can create a new project. We're going to call this one .NET Example. Once you've created your test case, you'll want to follow the workflow toolbar to get you up and running. From here, we're going to start by clicking on the Start Here button. This will allow us to choose the type of test we are going to be doing with the .NET Explorer. We can do test against web services, .NET remoting, and other .NET classes. In this example, I'm going to be loading a web service. You'll enter in the URL of the web service and click Next. We will then discover all of the classes that are associated with this web service. For this example, there is only one class. We can choose any methods that we want to add at the beginning, but I'm going to invoke some classes further in the tutorial. Once we have created our test case, we can start adding methods to be invoked. We have a list of all of the discovered methods in the Loaded Components window. We can see any web services that exist and can make invocations of those method calls. By clicking on a method, we now have the option to invoke this method through the workflow toolbar. This invocation has now been added to our test case. To change what values will be sent to the web service, we click on the parameter itself and can change the input value. I'm going to change this value to Hello World. We can also pull from a random variable if you want the parameter to change each time. Once we have customized our invocation, we can add verifications as well. First, we'll need to store the value that is returned into a variable, which will then allow us to add a verification. Because Hello World is being sent to the server, we'll need to check that it also comes back. Once we have added our verifications, we can run our test case. And we'll see checkboxes letting us know that we sent Hello World and got back Hello World. We can also check the output to verify that it is correct. Once we are happy with our test case, we can export this test case as a SilkPerformer web project because this is a web service test. If you are testing .NET objects, you'll want to choose the SilkPerformer .NET project. We can now give the project a name in SilkPerformer. We can then run through the rest of the workflow toolbar in order to create a load test for that example. This concludes the Getting Started with the .NET Explorer for SilkPerformer.